I'm Sean from Offload Rugby Media.
I'm Simeon from the TikTok Ref.
Guys, I'm Murray, also known as Blissful Rugby HQ.
And you're listening to the Rugby Connection podcast.
For the fans, by fans.
Also known as Blissful Rugby HQ. We have a very special guest with us today, David Rollo, who was part of the 1962 tour to South Africa. David, how are we?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, very kind of you to invite me along to this.
Thank you for
special we do. I'm not very sure what's going to take place, but
we're just going to discuss a few questions. I've got, because there's three of us that host the show, I've got a few. The other two have got some questions that I've written down, because obviously we can't all be here, because one's in Wales, one's in Ireland, and as it's Lion season, who better to ask on the show than a Lion? So, and I'm so grateful that you've said yes, so thank you very much. So the first question is actually from Sean, who I work with. What got you into rugby?
what got me into rugby a long time ago. I didn't start playing until I was 20 years of age, which was a fair age for boys nowadays. I'd been in one day the year before. I got a chap called Willie Bell, who was a friend of ours, stayed in Denbury Farm. As I say, I'm a farmer's son myself. And Willie says, right, come in, we start training this weekend, come in and see what's going on. So I came in and had a bit of look at what was going on, and actually it's in the same pitch as where they are now. What they did then, they were picking stones off the field. It had just been laid out for the very first game of rugby. And the boys that came up for it to play, they had to pick the stones. There was rubber netting all the way around it. So the boys had to pick the stones off the field before they started playing that day.
We don't have to do that anymore.
Anyway, I stayed for a wee while, and there was not really attracting me. So I just left, and that was it. And it was the next year I went in again, and I got a game this time. And that was the start of it, 1954. So we just kept on going from there, and the district rugby, well, shall we say, the way to get promotions, we all played for the Howe of Fife to start with. And we had district rugby on the scene in those days. And it was East Fife against West Fife, Fife against Perth and Angus. Then it was the Midlands against the North.
We're getting bigger now.
And then the North and Midlands against Edinburgh, Glasgow and the South. So they were all training things for myself. I learned a lot I was selected to be in those 50, so that did a lot of good. I think we should do something like that still in this present year.
I agree with
a lot of the boys are not getting any real encouragement. It's standard to aim for.
No, I can totally on board.
The final two after the district games was finished, they had the Murrayfield trials, the first trial and the second trial. So you hoped you'd been the blue side or the white side, the blue and white. My first game week was the whites against the blues, and the following week I was promoted to the blues side against the whites. So that was the kind of start of
That's good.
my career, really. So
that's amazing. I do agree with you though that they should still have like a district.
Yes, well, to me there's the boys who are a standard, and there's no way of finding out any more about their ability unless you play for Glasgow or Edinburgh. But I've had the district game against boys from different areas. They'll be able to pinpoint their own ability against someone like yourself who's another prop forward, and you find out how good you were. But to me, there's nothing like that at all now.
Maybe one day we'll try and maybe you could maybe push it forward and get it back.
So moment of this lockdown, there's no rugby at all anyway.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
So that was the kind of start of my rugby career in 1960.
That's really good.
I was quite lucky. My father, he never saw me play. He died the year before I started playing rugby, so my father never saw me play.
Sorry to hear that.
But my mother was a great follower. Willie Bell's mother, Granny Bell, called it. My first game, they went over to Ireland to see me play, And the
Wow.
pair had never been away from home in their life before.
That's dedication for you. That's proper fun for you.
And then there was, well, over in Ireland, that Mrs. Bell, Granny Bell's oldest son was Dave,
Yeah.
our farmer. He knew him, tried to help see my parents. Anyway, Dave and his brother-in-law, Dr. Lyle Fleming from Laskins,
Yeah.
the two of them came over to watch the game. And after the full time when the whistle blew, those two came on the pitch and carried me off the pitch.
Hey, he was.
Could you believe that?
That sounded like you definitely deserved that.
That was it.
So you were part of the 1962
62 Lions tour.
Lions tour to South Africa, and part of like the modern day tradition is players don't get to find out; they have to watch it on the television or where they cut or over the radio, like everyone else. How did you find out about?
Yeah, well,
your
we
side?
were notified after the Cup game on
Okay.
the March, this was the 23rd, I think we played against England, and it was a drawing game.
Right.
And we were all asked if we would be available for the Lions tour.
Yeah.
And that was it. Then I'm not very sure how long it was, 2 weeks afterwards, got a letter coming through, you'd be selected to play.
Oh wow.
And that was it. And it was told what was going to get. We got two blazers, a dress one and a day one.
Right. Okay.
That was it. We had to supply our own trousers,
Yeah.
flannels, shall we say,
Yeah.
2 pairs of boots,
Okay.
and the rest were socks and that they were provided by the tour company.
So it's totally different now because I think now you get t-shirts, hoodies, tracksuits, bottoms, vests,
Yeah,
free boots through sponsorship.
Aye.
I think I read it and it was like £300
Well,
worth of kits.
the jersey, that was the one, when we got that was our number 23.
Right, okay.
So that was our playing number, and that was anything that happened for number 23, I could fold over the
Right.
clothes about it. And once we got out to South Africa, and we did, it was a duty, you were a duty boy for the day, make sure the boys all got in the bus right enough.
Yeah.
And as number 23 was later coming, he was going to get fined.
Oh, okay. Did you ever get fined, David?
Not really.
See, nice and behaved, that's all I like to hear.
I wouldn't say I would have been behaving like that.
Well, you were always on time, that's always,
Yes,
that's always a
that
good one.
was it. That was
So
it.
what position did you play, David?
I played a number 3 prop.
Alright, okay, so tight head prop, yeah.
Yeah. And also, well, for the Scottish 15, Scottish 15, I played 4 different numbers in the back.
Right, okay.
First one, don't think you would guess, was number 8,
Okay, right.
which was the tight head prop.
Oh, you confused me,
And
right?
the loose head prop was number 10.
That definitely doesn't sound right.
Played that. Then the numbers were changed about the early 50s, no, the early 60s, I was but anyway, my next number, I was playing playing those numbers for the Scottish 15, but they changed them over.
Yeah.
That was in the early 60s it was. And number what was for 60s, 3,
Yeah.
then 1.
Yeah, that's what I was called props.
8, 10, 3 and 1. So there were 4 different numbers I played with.
Was that your squad number though, was it? Like,
That was
the
playing
Lions
numbers. No, that was meant for the Scottish
right,
15.
the Scottish
Yeah.
15.
Number 23 was my
Lions
Lions
number, right. And what was your official Lions number? Do you know?
23.
Oh, no, so like,
Yeah, that was 23 for everything.
Right.
My jersey is.
oh yeah, so I see it now.
Yeah.
No, I mean like, cause like, I don't know, like Brian O'Driscoll has like number 740 something overall, just 23.
That was 23,
Okay.
that was everything that happened with 23. That was me.
Alright, that's fine, that's just me being confused, that's all. I've got a quote here that says, in 1962 we had a nice captain, Arthur Smith, a nice man, quiet man, but says nice men don't survive in South Africa or New Zealand. Does that mean like throw all the niceties away on them and then do it?
And Arthur Smith played in all the games.
Yeah.
Full back you played.
Yeah. I was just wondering what you thought when it says like nice men.
No, he
don't
was a person you could look up to, put it that way.
Right, good.
He had the ability, he played a good game of rugby anyway, so you appreciate that.
Yeah.
And he was very, very good looking after the boys and being the captain.
All for bucks, aye.
Yeah.
So I've got a question from Simeon, who also is part of the show. He's a referee, so he's wanting to ask you, what were referees or like reffing like back then? Because obviously they're quite strict on everything now, really. So
No, I don't think the referees in those days were much different from what they were over in Britain. I don't think that. I'd say so. The only difference I found was the hardness of the grounds.
right,
They were very, very dry, very hard. And there was very little grass in some of them. And the ones where they had the grass, you went down, you got a skin burn. And that was a severe on your knee or your hip or whatnot. It's something that took quite a long time to heal. Which, nobody knows about that in this country about that, so be careful there.
I think they kind of got it with when they brought in like the 3G, like the new Astro pictures.
Oh, yes,
if you slide on that, you can get quite a burn. But doesn't sound as severe as what you just said to me. So
The thing that you used was iodine.
right,
To put on it, and I discovered when I was pouring on it, if you were able to blow on it at the same time, it didn't create the same fieriness.
right, okay. Well, no, that just sounds like that would be too painful to even think about. So, I read that a lot of the time during that time when the tours were on, some players couldn't like afford to go and had to like sacrifice like jobs or their livelihood. And even in some states, villages would like do a whip round. Did anything like that happen to
I
you?
never understood or heard about that.
Did you not?
No. We went along with what was our well, there were 32 players on our tour anyway, and they had blazers all made the measure. This is a day one and a smooth one. 2 white shirts, plain flannels, 2 pairs of shoes, and your 2 Lions jerseys were not swappable.
Right.
You have to keep them and bring them home with you.
I kind of like that idea. So if I ever got to be a Lion, I'd keep it.
I maybe go a wee bit further than that. When we started off was to meet down in London, in the Wellington Hotel at Mayfair.
Yeah.
That was on the 11th of May that year. And from there we went down to Eastbourne, which was the 30th of May, for a week's training.
Right, okay.
As we did. And back to London again for one night. We met up with the South African ambassador for London.
Wow.
At South Africa House, so that's what we did there. And the next morning we took a train out to Heathrow. That's when we set off for South Africa there.
Right, okay.
And it was a Comet aircraft. That was the 18th of May. We stopped in Rome for a fuel stop.
Yeah, of course.
And next stop was Khartoum in Nairobi, in Nigeria. And well, Khartoum, Nairobi, where we stayed about. We had a training session there. That was in the police training ground. That was in Bulawayo anyway, Rhodesia. The 26th of May. And that was against Rhodesia, and we beat them 38-9.
It was a good score. That was a very good score.
Yes.
I've got Rhodesia written down because I've got, apart from the tests, you had 16 wins, 3 draws and 2 losses on that whole tour.
Yes, right.
And I've written down like all the places I was going to try and test if you were playing in what games. So you just said Rhodesia. Were you playing against Rhodesia?
Yeah, I played in that game.
Did you play Griqualand West?
Oh, Griqualand, I think I did actually, yeah.
There you go, so there's 2 for 2. Western Transvaal?
Oh, no, I'm not very sure about that. I haven't got the list of the games I played in the time.
I just wrote it down as just a little bit of fun just to see.
In my playing career at that time, I was injured in one of the games early on before the first test match.
Right.
And what I gathered with the newspapers, what what we're talking about, that was going to be in this, for a test team. But I went and tore a rib cage myself, and with no medical staff with it at all, so it was never diagnosed. It just healed on its own accord. And if I'd known what it was, I could have stopped that one.
Put it on.
And I missed all the test matches I did. I got back on the scene again latterly, but it was too late by that time. That's one thing I did miss, actually, not getting a test match game. Whereas what I gathered with the press, there was right at the front row would have been Sid Miller, Brad Meredith, and myself. That would have been from
Wow. Unfortunate, but at least you're still on part of the tour and got to play some of the games.
Yes, I got back again.
Leads me to my next one. Overall, like on the whole tour, what was your best personal memory of the tour?
Oh, like sightseeing, I think.
Sightseeing, I like that. That's a good answer, I like that.
That day we all visited, we started off with Victoria Falls,
Okay.
and the Kruger National Park, where we saw the giraffes, the monkeys and the elephants.
I'd love to see all that.
And then after that, the Tabletop Mountain in Cape Town, and the ostriches, the ostrich farm at Outshorn.
Wow.
And I tried to ride an ostrich that day, which
Did you succeed?
I got kicked off. And the diamond mines in Kimberley too, it was great seeing all those things.
Of course.
Being a normal tourist, you never get to see that. Then I was doing the gold mines, and the 6,000 feet down the gold mine at Joburg. And going on from there, with autographs to write out every week.
Always fun, always part of that.
Once a week, the 10 sheets, what they do, and we passed them round all the teams, so that was, we would do 300 sheets a day.
Just take a time out after that with your recipes.
That was it. And that was autographs. And when I was in Port Elizabeth, swimming in the Indian Ocean, which was a new experience. Huge big waves coming in.
Definitely good from somebody from Cooper anyway.
And the wine tasting at the Cape Province Paddle Series.
How was wine tasting?
That was super. I gather some of the boys, the teams had been there before, some of the bottles of wine that climbed up on the top.
Okay.
And they'd be sipping the wine, because there was no litter, I don't think, they were sipping the wine, they'd fallen asleep. None of our boys, but I heard some of them previous times.
I love hearing like stories like that. They're always fun.
And the food it was had most times was what they call monkey gland steaks.
Right,
That was on the monkey gland steaks. So whether it's anything to do with monkeys or not, I don't know, but that was one of the...
Do you think it had anything to do with monkeys?
I don't know, must have done.
So out of all those places, all the places that you've been on the tour, if you could pick one place that was your absolute favourite, where would it be?
Yeah, well, I think the Kruger National Park, I think, was what we stayed overnight there. We watched two nights in the Kruger.
Okay.
And we stayed in those Rondell, I don't know whether it's Rondell huts, I don't really know that.
Yeah.
Two people stays in them, so that was a week there, and absolutely tremendous it was.
Sounds
There was
really
no hurry to do anything, we just stayed for it.
So that's right. Another question from Sean is, what is your favourite part about the Lions, just as a whole?
Yeah, just being there, I think, and getting to know all the boys from the different countries.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you've got one or two friends from Ireland, one or two from Wales and England too, but you got to know some of the other ones. You say that shoot your hand after the game, and that was it. But get to know them all as individuals, it was super hard.
Bringing all the boys together and becoming one. Yeah, that's always, I love that. That's my favourite thing about the Lions as well. Just because you see it in the Six Nations and they're battling lumps at each other, and then 6 months later,
everybody's all from different nationalities. They're all pulled together. If you did something wrong, they'd come and stand up for you and say, "Look, no, it wasn't his fault. It was so and so's fault." That's
what you need. You need that camaraderie in a way. So. You obviously, we all know you were part of the 1962 tour, but there was another legend in Willie John McBride. and he's deemed as one of the greatest, if not the greatest lion of all time. Obviously, a lot of people know what he was like on the pitch. What was he like off the pitch, away from the pitch?
Well, there was another, to me, as another typical Irishman who liked to enjoy himself.
Good.
And he had the ability to play rugby at a high level.
Yeah,
He liked to drink a Guinness or whatever was going.
that doesn't sound surprising at all. I like that though. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
But would you say he's the best lion of all time? Apart from yourself?
Willie John McBride.
Willie John McBride.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
There's a list in here.
All
that
I
has-
was David Hewitt he was very clean in the wing, he was very good. Bill Mulcahy, the second row forward.
Yeah.
I got a great with Bill, Dr. Bill Mulcahy. Aer Lingus doctor he was.
Alright. See, he could have sorted your ribs.
Yeah. Maybe known, but I didn't know what it was at that time. No, I would put it this day, I would prefer Bill Mulcahy to Billy John McBride.
There you go. You've heard it here. Bill McCarthy over Billy John McBride. This book that you were happy enough to sign for me before we started filming, it's got the 50 greatest players of all time. It's on the Lions, and Billy John McBride is number one.
Was he all right?
And then I'll have a quick look for you. There's obviously, as you can see, there's a lot of
We
information.
got playing a test match, I wouldn't have been something.
Yeah, when I was doing research on you, it came up that it says like 0 appearances. I'm like, well, this is not true. It's obviously because of the test.
Well, the start of it, I was, the press was always Dave Rollo.
Yeah. So there you go. He did play for the Lions. It's not made up. Don't listen to Wikipedia. So like Jim Telfer's in here. Did you ever play with Jim Telfer at all? Or?
No, well, just for the Borders. For
the Borders, right, there you go.
Yeah.
Trying to think, just as we keep going, just as a list of like the greatest players that have ever put on the Lions jersey, and where's it number? There it is. There you go. Number one. Willie John McBride. 62, 66, 68, 71 and 74. Incredible.
We was all in Hereford Bull sales at Ballymena. We met up with Willie John and St Miller. After we stopped playing, funnily enough.
Yeah.
We'd been a farmer who kept some pure Herefords, and they were selling at the market in Ballymena, so I went over and funny enough, we met up with the two of them.
I was just about to ask, did you keep in touch with
Yeah, well,
Willie John?
Bill McCarthy, we keep in contact with each other.
Right, okay.
And I phoned him and he phoned me back just to
Good. I like stuff like that, especially like for so long.
Yes, well.
Got 3 more questions.
Funny that Bill McCarthy, the last one of the Scotland Irish games over there, went over to Pat over to watch it.
Right.
And I phoned up Bill McCarthy to see he was coming over.
Yeah.
So he met us at the airport and took us back into, well, we were staying in the hotel right enough. And it was a great weekend with him, and met up
Good stuff.
with some of the rest of the line Sunday.
That's always good. So back to Simeon, who asked you about the refereeing question. He says, how different was a Lions game atmosphere compared to playing for Scotland? So the difference in atmospheres, or was there not a whole lot of difference?
Yes. Well, I probably didn't know the players on the Lions tour just quite as well as you would with the Scottish team.
Right.
So the atmosphere wasn't just quite so relaxed, because you go out there and you're playing to win all the time.
Yeah, of course.
You're doing that for your own country too, but it's slightly different playing for the Lion, because you're with other boys from other countries.
Yeah, of course. What about the fans, like atmosphere as well? Was that a totally different game?
Yes, well,
altogether?
we had quite a number of fans. It must have been people who'd come from Britain at one time.
Yeah.
So we had their own supporters.
It's good.
Right now.
Like the sea, did you have the famous Sea of Red, as people put it now?
No. Although there was one game, I think it was at Springs, I think it was. And there was an open ground, there was no stand, so there was, it was open all
Yeah,
the
of
way
course.
down. And you're talking about that, with a lot of black supporters at one end of the field behind the goalpost. And I don't know when they scored I think it was they scored a try, or the Springbok players scored a try. And they run out the pitch and they knocked the post down. There were so many, they weren't allowed on the pitch, they were on the dead ball area. And they tried, there was a net on there to keep them back. And they forced their way in. Probably I think it was the Lions had played, they were supporters and I think they were freed and killed. I've never reported that at all. But,
no, I never knew anything. I never read anything.
I'm sure it was Springs, it was reports of Springs, I think it was.
Terrible. All because
I know, talking about the colours, we had a lot of coloured people looking after us in the hotels. And then when he was going away, I was saying, wish you all the best. He said, who do you want to win? You know. And it wasn't the Springboks, it was us.
Alright, okay, so there you go. That's good to hear, I like that. So I read that the first Lions game wasn't actually televised till 1968, so would that be like the people that wanted to come and watch the game would actually have to come like to the venue and watch you play?
I'm not very sure about that, 68.
That's fine.
67 was in that.
Maybe 67, but so just after your tour, it would be televised.
I was back again. No, sorry, it was 97. I was back. Sorry.
Right.
97. The Lions played out in 97.
Yeah, when so Ian was in charge.
Yeah. Ron Glasgow, the ex-Scottish player. Myself went out with a Welsh tours company. I think I said that already. And we were all the two Scots that was with them.
You were the loudest.
Great tour. But I'd actually booked to go back this year. We were taking part out to see the Lions play. And with this COVID thing, my daughter said, look, Dad, I don't think it's worthwhile. I can't afford to take time off the school when I come back.
Speaking of this year's tour, I'm fortunate enough to go to the Japan game again at Murrayfield. I got tickets, and obviously because of COVID they were like, you're going to have to reduce numbers. I was like, right, we'll see how it goes. And I got the email a few weeks ago that my ticket's still
I should have applied for that, just say well, even just recently seen if any tickets handed back, maybe an next line.
You should definitely try that. So I'm quite looking forward to that because it'll be my first rugby game. There's 3 generations. It's usually me and my dad that's going, but since last year I've got a wee boy, so it'll be his first rugby game, and he's well into rugby. He's only 14 months, but he's sat and watching with me, and he'll proper cheer like the Scotland-France game.
He's got a wee mini rugby ball.
He's got a mini rugby ball. He's got a bigger rugby ball. He's got a Lions kit, Scotland top, just like his dad.
Great.
We've got another question. I put it out to some of our followers and supporters to get a chance to ask you a question. The question is, how much has the tours changed since you were on tour in 1962? So overall, how much has it changed?
How has it changed? I don't see many changes at all in the game of rugby. The only thing I would say about the forwards, the scrummaging now, the players there are about twice the size they were in my day. Me as a prop forward at 14.5 stone, they're now 18, 20, 21 stone.
A lot bigger, definitely.
And I feel the scrummage hasn't got the same technique to it. It's all about pure body strength.
I'd agree with that. So
it
was yours more about proper technique?
And when I was playing, I'd probably, not boasting at all, but I would probably more balls against the head than anyone else in the country.
That's a big issue.
I could get many balls and get against the head. And it was Norman Bruce, who I played with in the Scottish 15 to start with. He was saying, when we got down, he says, Dave, did you have a go at this ball coming in? He said, I'll just stick my leg forward, I won't try to hook for it, I'll just stick my leg forward and you could follow in. And that worked tremendously well.
There you go. So, right, yeah, you can boast. You're allowed to boast. You're the guest. You can boast as much as you like.
Yeah, I did that. I guess all the countries I played against. So.
Yeah. See, you've got some like almost not souvenirs, like some memories with you as well. Would you like to share them with? Obviously, your
Yeah, I
wife.
was going to let you see it.
All right, I'll have a quick look. Okay, so
Just take the phone with you.
I'll definitely take them home and I'll bring them back next week for you. So because I don't want to ruin them or anything like that, because these are obviously part of history, more importantly part of your history. So as you can see, it's the match programme from 1962. So I'll put that there.
I think that's probably the invitations coming in. That one.
Consignment baggage and insurance.
Yeah, what's all to bring along with you.
That's really good, I like that. It's pretty cool, so I'm just like that. There you go, there's an official there regarding his baggage and insurance for the British and Irish Lions.
And this, my agreement that you get, tell me what you get.
Private and confidential, not for publication. I won't do it. I'll stick by it. I'll just have a quick.
No, I don't do it. I don't want to know anyway.
I can show it if you want. It's up to
Yeah,
you.
well, just to
go
go
for it.
see what.
So there you go. There's David's agreement. Says not for publication, but he's broke the rules, so it's fine. There's his agreement, as you can see. Put it up closer just so you can get a better look at it. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
And that was a combined service against the Lions.
Alright, there you go, there's a match programme for the combined services match. There's a squad picture as well for you. Pretty good. As you can see, the programmes and match day now is a lot thicker
Is it? Oh,
and a lot more expensive.
and this is what we're showing to keep the that's our fixture list.
Oh, that's amazing, I really like that. There you go. For the viewers, that's the whole fixture list and the tour of the 1962 Lions.
We've got all the scores down that sort of thing.
There's, yeah, so 39,
Look at that list.
8 each. I think that says 11-6. And then you just stop keeping score after that.
One's right.
That's right. No, I can kind of see, yeah.
No, there's no more. We should have that filled up, but we forgot about it.
Not a problem, it's still very good to see all that. Is that just
No, that's
I just seen the picture. There you go.
That's David Rollo.
There's David Rollo there.
And his heyday.
Lots of it. Yeah, because you had 40. Yeah, you had 40 caps for Scotland, didn't you? I read that correctly. Then your last game was 1968, and
68.
sadly lost against Ireland. Some things never change then. Debut against England. That's a big one.
So that's where I broke my nose.
On your debut.
My debut. 3-all the score was.
Yeah.
And there was no reserves in those days, so I took them off the pitch. Couldn't get the blood to stop running. I stuffed it up with cotton wool.
Ouch.
And then I went back on. That was a 3-all draw, so we did pretty well that day. For the
Big game. Nice tight game, anyway, definitely.
first game.
Unfortunately, you broke your nose on your first half a little bit.
The last game of the season, so it didn't matter so much.
That's alright. That's not too bad to complain. Just a little bit of fun. Who's going to win the series this year?
Is it going to be the Lions?
That's a very difficult question that to ask.
I reckon it's going to be the Lions. I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep. I think 2-1.
Yeah, the Lions over in South Africa are very difficult to beat.
Yeah.
A very, very good side to beat them.
Definitely.
And I think they're probably stronger now than what they were when we played in 1962.
Yeah. Who was the best South African player you played against?
Oh, I don't know if my bank was one of the good players. Second to three, another one was pretty good. Oh goodness me.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I should have asked. I was meant to ask you.
Alvaro Muller is another one. Fanny Cood, I think that was another prop forward. John Engelbrecht. Was it John Engelbrecht? I thought. Yeah.
So a good few bunch of lads then.
Well, I should have a look at the names.
It's no pressure. But honestly, thank you so much for.
Yeah, well, I hope you get something out of it as well.
Yeah, well, I thought, because also I'd like to thank Howe of Fife for setting this up for me, because I did take a shot and happily this year. So.
Well, if it hadn't been for the Howe of Fife, I would never have played rugby. You know,
Yeah,
they've been great for as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I've just started, because I started just when they were all out to train as a group, and they've been great with me. They've been very welcoming.
And we have quite a few tours, you know. I haven't had a tour for a long time.
Yeah, no, we need a good.
Went away, we was over in Amsterdam one year, and down in Wales for another year.
Yeah.
That was great.
I'd love to go on. I'd love to just be playing rugby again, but it's soon. But it's happening. We are getting games very, very soon.
Yeah, well.
And hopefully we'll see you.
Once you get going, anyway. What age are you now?
I'm 23 July.
23. Just a youngster. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll take that. So I'm a little bit nervous just because I've not played in about 4.5 years now. I got hurt playing, and then I took my year out, got medically clear, and focused on my studies. Graduated. I'm a little boy, and then straight after my little boy was born.
That's the main thing, yeah.
Straight after my little boy was born, we were in lockdown, and
Get a wee bit of exercise again.
yeah, so started back proper exercising like October. So, but all this running about was a bit of a shock to the system. But I'll get there. It's just all practice and getting back there.
At all. I know it's a hellish job.
Yeah, but the fixtures are out in September. We've got fixtures. There's not confirmed teams or dates or that yet. That's coming out. I think it's next week.
Is it all right?
But they're discussing
They're
September.
supposed to be playing against the Midlands teams on this first of all, no? Well,
Are they? I don't know.
the first lot of fixture I got anyway, that was last year. This all clear that we're going to play against the Midlands sides first of all.
Don't know. I heard about a Fife Cup at the end of August, and then the National League
Well,
is in
things come
September.
up because Gary did family. Who else would come in Madras? Would he come with that?
How the Fairman Kirkcaldy Glenrottus, Madras.
Madras, yes.
Is Fife still in
I
Scotland?
don't know whereabouts Wade. No, they have no FP side. Dunfermline was the other one.
Yeah, Dunfermline. Don't know. There'll be a few. There's apparently 10 teams.
Yeah,
I can't even name 10 teams in Fife, but there you go. But yeah, honestly, David, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and
no,
discuss.
that's okay. Just hope we found something.
Oh, definitely, I'm happy. I'm more than happy with how it went, so that's all that matters. Also guys, this is exclusively to our YouTube page, so always like, subscribe and leave a comment, and we'll see you very soon.
They say how.